Are you paying attention?
Hello.
I'm Sarah.
And I'm David, and we're here to talk about 2 weeks of Survivor.
We weren't here last week. I'm so sorry.
She was sick.
Oh, sick.
Yeah.
Oh, sick. It's my fault.
But she's better now.
Better now. We got
Here
two
we are.
amazing episodes to talk about.
2 weeks ago.
David, 2 weeks ago.
They do this reward challenge, right? They can play for different rewards, but the one that matters is playing for advantage, right?
Yeah.
Ty wins the advantage. Nobody knows what it is, but we know that Ty wins an extra vote.
He has an extra vote.
Yeah. So now he has an idol and an extra vote.
Then we move on to immunity. This challenge was insane.
Oh my
They're
God.
holding something up like
With their
this.
fingertips.
The last two people are Aubrey and Jason. Aubrey and Jason,
Aubrey.
you guys.
Aubrey.
They lasted over an hour.
Their shoulders must have been on fire.
I can't even imagine. Aubrey, over like an hour and 20 minutes, finally drops, and then
Yes.
Jason drops. I was blown away. Jason gets immunity. Since we have 2 weeks to talk about and we can't talk about all the details, we only have to say this episode was phenomenal.
Oh my God.
Jason has immunity, and the rest of the group doesn't know how to flush out these idols or get rid of people. They've
Yeah.
got a lot of things to figure out. And Cydney and Aubrey, being apparently the brains of this operation,
Yep.
they figure out they've got to get Ty to not be a part of that little three-guy alliance and needs to come over.
Yep.
So they work a little magic. They convince him he's the bottom of this.
Which he is, because
So
Scott
true.
and Jason are so tight, like,
So
they're
true.
gonna kick his ass to the curb at some point. And Aubrey does a little bit of, like, appealing to his conscience, right? And she's saying, I don't think you're this person. I don't think this is what you want
Not
your
this
legacy to be.
person.
This
Not-
isn't the game you want to play.
And she's like, I feel like you and I are like ships in the night. kind of
Yes,
thing.
we have a
Like,
lot in common.
We could have been close, we just haven't been yet.
Yep.
Let's talk
So
through some
she's
things.
really
She
getting in that head of his.
got it, yes. Made him notice he was the bottom of that
Yes,
little trio.
because then he goes to Scott and Jason and he says, oh, Aubrey's trying to work with me. And
He thought of it as a positive thing. He's saying, oh, Aubrey's trying to work with me.
And then Scott's like, well,
We
Aubrey's
should
gotta
get rid
go
of her.
then. You know what
Yep.
that means.
Yep.
And Ty sees like, oh, they just like
They
stepped all over
dominated,
me.
yeah.
So what Aubrey is saying is absolutely true.
Now, we don't know, obviously, at this point. They go to Tribal, and the plans are Ty, Scott, and Jason, and maybe Julia, are going to vote to get out Aubrey.
Yes, that's their plan.
Julia, Michelle, Aubrey, Cydney, Joe had said, let's get out Ty.
Yeah.
He'll either use his idol or he'll, you know, like we'll either flush out an idol or we get rid of him. But then Aubrey and Cydney walk off, talk to Ty, and so then they get Joe on board. So Michelle and Julia don't know that potentially Ty, Aubrey, Cydney, and Joe are gonna vote out Scott. Okay, so these are our options going into Tribal.
Yes, Jason had handed his idol to Scott before the tribal council.
Because their deal was,
He didn't need it. He had
either way,
immunity.
no matter what,
Yeah.
you guys just, if you need to use a super idol, there it is. You guys got it.
Yep, so Jason hands his idol over to Scott. Ty still has his, right? And they're again talking this big
They're
game about
talking
we're gonna use this
big
super idol,
game.
so you're either on our team or you're out.
I mean, we've been telling people how it's going to go down, and
Yeah,
hey,
you'd
if you're
better
either
listen.
in it or not. Oh, the ego is
Yes.
just out of control.
So then they vote.
I hope that you watched this episode. If you did not watch this episode, please go find it on CBS.com.
Yes.
This was the most beautiful Tribal I think I have ever seen.
It was great.
Before we read the votes, Jeff has tallied the votes. Julia turns to Ty and says, use the idol, use the idol.
Yeah.
Because she thinks the plan is to vote Ty out, but she's protecting him by he's going to use his idol and we're all going to be safe, right?
Yeah.
Ty's not going to use the idol. Jason's saying no, Scott's saying no because they're going to use the super
Yeah,
idol, right?
right.
Votes are red. Scott has the most votes. Literally, he turns with a smirk as of like,
Yeah.
well,
And
let
he's
me
kinda
show
like,
you.
Hand it over. And Ty's like,
No. And then Scott's
I'm
like,
not doing
wait, are you doing this? And Ty's like, no.
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 and Jason's just like, what?
What's happening? Everybody's like, kind of what's happening. And Scott gets up, leaves the game. Not only is he eliminated, but he walks out with Jason's idol.
It could not have worked out better for Cydney and Aubrey and that whole side of the tribe. It was the ideal scenario.
It really was.
And I don't even think they realized that Scott had Jason's idol.
But let me also point out, Ty had flipped at this point. He voted for Scott. So if Scott, Aubrey, and Ty are the people who've been voted for,
Yeah.
and Ty joins his idol with Scott's
To
as a
save
super
Scott.
idol to save Scott,
Then what?
the two left are Aubrey and Ty. It's a tie.
I see what you did there.
And they would have had to revote, but only with those two.
Yeah.
So, and Ty didn't have the numbers. Ty would have gone home. So there's no way he's going to use his, like, think it through, guys.
Yeah.
This is how much those guys did not think things through.
Yeah. It wasn't just like a pure, I'm getting all this blood on my hands move. Like, it really was strategy to save himself.
Right. Scott wouldn't have done it if the tables had turned. Scott wouldn't have been like, here's my idol. Oh, wait, now I'm going home?
Great.
No.
See you later, Scott.
So the next episode starts out with Jason's ticked off, but I'm actually impressed, obviously.
With his social game.
Yeah. He didn't want to show them how mad he was. He wanted to sort of figure out, okay, I'm obviously odd man out. How do I get back in this game? And that is how you play Survivor.
Yes.
Then it made me think maybe Scott was not the bad apple, but like the two of them together just got too heated up. But now that Scott's out of the picture, Jason can actually play the game.
Yes. So he lays low this time, right?
Yes.
He's not throwing water on a fire. He's not hiding the axe.
Julia's actually mad because she and Michelle were not looped in.
Yeah, so she's very bitter and she does not want to hear it from Ty about why he didn't use his idol, why they changed the plan, whatever.
She and Michelle kind of realized they might be the bottom of that alliance.
Right.
Julia's more annoyed. Michelle, obviously, strategically is like, okay, how do I make sure I'm in this alliance?
Yes.
We go to a reward challenge, which was actually really cool. They had to pair off. The pair that wins is Cydney and Michelle.
Which I love. I just love seeing Cydney win anything.
Yes, I was rooting for them.
So they get to go on a beautiful picnic in a helicopter and they get to bring a third person, so they choose Aubrey because apparently she hasn't eaten in a while.
Which was nice that they said that she hasn't eaten, so she needs to eat. Because I thought Michelle was going to be like, we should bring Julia. She was going to try to get Julia in. But Michelle's too smart.
Yeah.
Michelle was like, no, I want to bring the people I need to get in with.
Exactly. So they go on this nice reward.
Michelle gets to chat, play some little game.
Yeah, do a little strategizing.
But ultimately, they just have a gorgeous day, eating and drinking.
So then they do immunity, right?
I thought Aubrey had this in the bag.
Me too.
You have to swim out or run out to the water, memorize these symbols that are attached to numbers, come back, do a puzzle, blah, 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 blah. So it's memorizing and puzzles with a little exercise energy, whatever that's
right.
And Jeff's saying you're only going to be able to memorize so much. You're going to have to go back a second time.
Because think about it. They are so exhausted in every way at this point. They've been on the island for almost 30 days or around there. Memorizing all that stuff just takes a lot of brain power and they have not eaten. I bet that reward probably helped a lot. Michelle and Julia, in the end, they both only have to take one trip out to memorize all the numbers and the symbols.
So they get the key first, so they don't have to run back. Everybody's running back for a second time to look at those symbols. And Julia doesn't figure it out, but Michelle does. Nails it immediately, like kills the challenge.
Figured it out. That word was blindsided, and she wins immunity. Which again, what I like about this season is that immunity is going around. A lot of different people have won personal immunity.
But I also feel like these immunity challenges have been equally mental as physical.
Yeah.
Which they're not always. Sometimes they're just physical.
Yeah.
And some of the females, but the females not only are running things right now, but they're actually able to win these challenges, which is super fun to watch.
It's great to see. They go back and they're, hatching their plan. They're not going after Jason anymore because everybody realizes Jason's an island at this point. He's by himself. He doesn't have anybody and he knows it.
Well, they start talking about, Julia was like almost won this challenge. She was right behind Michelle. She's obviously been playing both sides. We know she's strategic.
Because Cydney was like, we got to get Jason out. And then everyone was like, actually, Julia was right behind Michelle. And Cydney was like,
yeah. So Julia seems more of a threat. So they're talking as a group. And of course, Michelle's just kind of like, oh crap, oh crap, oh crap.
Yeah, she loves Julia. Has since the beginning.
And they're obviously a little alliance, but Michelle sees the big picture. So she's kind of just going with the flow. Jason trying to figure out how he can get in. And Julia working with him. The only plan that he really could figure out was, look, we're now out to get Ty. So if they want to get Ty out, use us as numbers. numbers. And Cydney, being his original alliance, is the way he tries to go at it. And he says, Cydney, listen, if you want to get Ty out, which I think is a smart thing to do, look, we're here as numbers. Julia and I got your back. Let's try to get Michelle. We've got enough people. We can get Ty out.
Yeah. And Michelle, I don't really think Cydney bought that plan for 1 second.
No.
That was not her plan this week.
But Cydney is smart enough to know if I need that as a backup.
Great. So it's good to have options, she says. I think Michelle was a little bit more into it just because she wanted to save Julia.
But Cydney and Aubrey made a threesome alliance with Ty. That's where it gets more difficult for Cydney, is because if Cydney were to go against Ty at this point, she shot things with Aubrey. Even though Cydney and Aubrey may not really believe the thing they have with Ty, the two of them have been working together really well, so you don't want to screw that up.
Yeah.
We go to Tribal, kind of up in the air of like, what's Michelle gonna do? Is she gonna go with the Ty thing or the Julia thing? And is Cydney gonna really risk to go with the Ty thing, or is she just gonna go with the flow with the Julia thing?
Yeah. And Ty is not comfortable at this
he hears his name
tribal ceremony. Right. And he's like, really, am I gonna use this idol or not? Like, I don't want to use it without needing to, but I don't want to walk home with an idol in my pocket like Scott just did.
Yeah, but he also has the advantage. If he has to, he'll add another vote. They vote, and everyone went with the Julia plan.
Yeah, so she's gone.
Michelle cried when Julia walked out, which was really pretty to see. Julia, I don't think saw that coming.
I think she probably thought they were going to get Jason out.
Yeah, so Jason is literally a man alone right now, but we also have enough concern about the large alliance.
Yeah.
Now, Joe and Aubrey have been tied since the beginning, but Joe doesn't really contribute.
No.
But Aubrey runs the show with Cydney right now, which I love.
I love that.
The two of them together.
Yes.
But is Aubrey more aligned with Cydney, or is she more aligned with Joe? Because Joe is just really kind of a number for Aubrey right now.
Oh, yeah. He doesn't contribute at all strategically. Yeah. He's just like, tell me what we're voting and I'll vote that way.
And is Cydney, Aubrey, and Ty really a thing?
And the thing is, Jason's the only person not in that alliance. So this alliance is going to have to start turning on itself.
Right.
You know, like this is not...
Which means who's going to use Jason as a number and who's Jason going to go with?
Jason, I think, is sitting pretty right now. He is not going home. Somebody is going to recruit him to make a big move, and this alliance is going to blow up.
Absolutely. That is why you don't throw a fit and throw water on a fire. Yeah. You try to figure out how to stay in this game.
Yep. So all he had to do was lay low for 1 week, and then next week I think he's going to be in the thick of it. Somebody's going to be pulling him in on some plan.
He can easily go to the finals because probably no one's going to vote for him.
Yeah. Nobody is concerned that he's going to beat them in the finals.
Right.
So I really could see him ending up there.
He can now be kind of a goat.
Yep.
Joe's clearly a goat.
Yeah.
He didn't even compete in the immunity idol, you guys. The immunity challenge, you guys.
Yeah. He's just like, I'm out of gas. So
I mean, he is the oldest person there. I get it. It's hard. He probably hasn't eaten as much. But
Jeff was kind of like, wait, are you done? Cool. We're gonna sort of combine our moments for both weeks. So we've got two brainiest moments, one from each week. When Aubrey and Cydney talked to Ty, Aubrey talked to Ty, Cydney and Aubrey hatched that plan, and they got him to flip. That was brilliant.
Ty. So brilliant.
Yeah.
And it's those moments where you're like, I've got to do something. How do we get... These guys are holding so much power. What do you do?
Yeah.
Well, Aubrey and Cydney figured it out.
They did it. They cracked the case. So
and they did it, and they got Ty to turn.
Yep.
And then for this episode, holy crap, Michelle memorized all of those numbers that paired with symbols?
Yes. Jeff was like, so I gotta ask, like, how many did you memorize on your first go? And she's like, all of them. You know.
I was like, okay, pause. How did you do that?
Yeah.
Tell me more.
I was like looking at the thing, trying to like figure out my own way of doing it.
I don't know how many there were, but I know there was at least 11. That's enough. I don't know how she did it. That's amazing. Applause to you.
Good for you. Our brawniest moment from these 2 weeks of episodes was from the first one, that immunity challenge with Aubrey versus Jason, holding those discs with their fingertips. They were like struggling so much, and like they would almost fall and they would get the thing back up. It was crazy.
They showed us the timestamp at 1:15, and then they like talked some more. So it was more than 1:15 that Aubrey had her arms up. And Jason too.
Yeah.
I'm more impressed with Aubrey. But anyway, that challenge.
Good for you.
Clearly our most beautiful moment was Ty actually not using the super idols. when Scott had that smug look on his face and he turned to Ty like, hand it over, let's show them.
And Ty was like, nope, not doing it.
Beautiful.
Yes, it was a small moment.
Small moment.
And subtle, but it was such a big game move. It was so great.
Ty is an interesting individual. Like, we've enjoyed the beauty of Ty as a whole. He's like a loving, compassionate person. He's fun to watch.
He's still got that pet chicken.
But holy moly, he's done some things.
Yeah, he has a little bit of blood on his hands.
He sure
is
does.
not the pacifist.
Yeah,
But
he's
Joe
not.
is, you know?
He's not the lover that they think he is. He's a little fighter too.
Yeah.
I cannot wait to see how this comes down because we're only got a handful of people left here. So.
I'm still rooting for Cydney, and I also like Aubrey.
I think we've always liked Ty. I've always loved Cydney. But now we kind of like Aubrey too.
She's smart.
Those are our 3 favorites, right?
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. Tell us who you guys like and who you're rooting for.
And click subscribe so you can see us do it all again next week.
All right, we'll see you then.
Bye.